Hello, this is MayOrMayNotBeAHuman. Today, because Minecraft.net is down, we are going to be looking at how to make a Minecraft server. Now, there are some aspects of this that will be true for all different kinds of servers, including Minecraft servers or other servers like Torchlight 2 servers. There's some similarities, but there are also differences as well. Sorry about that. Now, the first thing you need to do is, if you have had any other servers up and running before, you need to go into the server and you need to change the IP address that you've specified in the server properties file. I can't do this because I have my other server added as a different user on my computer, and I just can't access it from here. So the first thing you want to do is you want to, you know what, since Minecraft.net isn't even up, we're going to have to do some other things first in preparation for actually downloading. So what you want to do is type in cmd. This is if you have Windows 7. If you have if you have another program, you need to type in something else. There's other information available out there. Now, here's what you need to type in. You need to type in ipconfig and press enter. There's a lot of information here, but not much of it is necessary. The two things you need to remember are the IPv4 address under the wireless LAN adapter. That's going to be your wireless internet access. You know you have wireless internet access by this symbol right here. If you do not have this symbol, it means you are connected directly into the internet via a cable, and in that case you're going to want to use, I believe it's the Ethernet adapter, and it will list the IPv4 address there instead. Now, so back to what I was saying before, you need to remember the IPv4 address and the default gateway address. The default gateway address is the IP address that is true for all of your computers that are accessing the internet. Now, there's a bunch of different kinds of IP addresses, and I'm just going to explain it very simply. Basically, in order to access the internet, each individual computer has a different code applied to it. That way, the satellites know where to send the information that the computer is trying to access. If you do not have an IP address, it would send it to every single computer everywhere. If there was no such thing as an IP address, everybody would just be trying to look at the different things, and it would be sending information to every single computer everywhere, and the internet would break. So the IPv4 address is the IP address that is specifically attached to your computer. The default gateway is it's the IP address of your internet modem. And if you go online and you type in "what is my IP" in Google search, it will show a let's just put that on hold for a second. You need to type it in Google. I know this doesn't work with Bing, and I don't think it works. No, sorry, not Bing. It doesn't work with AVG. I'm not sure about Bing and Yahoo. So make sure you type it in Google. What is my IP? Now, this might be a bit confusing because it'll give you a completely different IP address. Now, all around the world, there are very basic default IP addresses that every computer has. Like, for instance, there are probably about 1,000 computers, and a few of you might actually have this, who have the .3 IPv4 address. You'll notice that a lot of these are similar. They all start with 192.168.254. That's the default IP address for everywhere. Now, the number at the end is the important bit. The .254 is the IP address that takes that's a bit complicated. You don't need to worry about that. There's probably about a couple million people out here who have this exact same IPv4 address as me. However, I'm the only one in the world who has this IP address. You notice it says public IP address. That is the IP address that my internet modem uses to access the internet. And then these other IP addresses are sort of like the smaller sub-IP addresses that go into this IP address. So when I Google search something, let's say I Google search Minecraft.net. First thing that happens, my computer forwards the request to my IPv4 address, 192.168.254.3. That's where the request starts. It sends it to the default gateway, which is 192.168.254.254, and anyone in the house who Google searches anything will also be forwarded to the default gateway. That is the IP address of the internet modem. And then the request is converted into a public IP address that everyone can see, and that's going to be this IP address that you see right here. Without this, everyone would be getting the exact same. Everyone in the world would see the Minecraft.net web page when I typed it in. Alright, so this, you need to remember this, you need to remember your default gateway, and you need to remember your IPv4 address. And I've tried to specify this as simply as possible because I know port forwarding is something that can be confusing. Now, the thing why this is important is that when you start a Minecraft server, it's not being accessed from the Minecraft computer systems. They don't have like it's not a massively multiplayer online game. It's not somewhere where with a massively multiplayer online game, somewhere in the world, let's say with World of Warcraft, somewhere in the world, there's a big room full of super fast processing computers that are processing everyone's information at once. Minecraft doesn't have that. Instead, the information about the online game is registered on a specific computer, and that's what a server is. Alright? So, what this means is that, let's say I have a bunch of my friends who try to get on my server. Now, unless I've done port forwarding, which is told the computer where to put how to send the request through the internet modem into my computer, the request wouldn't know where to go. The request to get on my server wouldn't know where to go. It would just sort of hover around in the internet and try and access everywhere at once, and that doesn't work. So by port forwarding, you're telling the computer, okay, so when my friends type in my IP address, I know when my friends type in my server, I want it to send it specifically to my computer and only to my computer. Now, in order to access your internet modem and begin this process, which is called port forwarding, you need to type in your default gateway IP address. So I'm going to type in my 192.168.254.254. Now, it's going to request a password of some kind. Now, hopefully, if you're when you're setting up this server, it will have kept, your router would have the default username and password. In this case, for Windstream, their default username and password is admin and admin. With other people, though, it's going to be different. Like, some people, like, let's say if I have, I don't know, some other internet company, some other internet router company, their username and password might be admin and password. I saw that on one review that I did of a Minecraft server. So what I'd suggest is, because you probably won't have Windstream, Google default username and password for my internet, and then you can like insert whatever kind of router you have. So here's what we've got. Now, most internet routers will have not this complicated a setup, alright? It took me forever to figure out how to do this. I had to go into here, I had to go into virtual servers, and I had to recreate a server. I had to do all this crazy stuff. However, most programs will have port forwarding like as literally an option, one of the options in this bar. Like if I unclick advanced setup, now you see all these like 6 information in most these 6 tabs. Most internet routers will have port forwarding at the bottom somewhere, and that's easy enough. In my case, I have to go to advanced setup and I have to go to NAT. I have no idea what that means, don't ask. And I have to go to virtual servers. If this doesn't work and if it's some other process, I can't really help you because literally each individual router has a different way of port forwarding, and it's really, really obnoxious. So, I'm going to remove my old server because the thing is that it's running on my IP address, and in order to add a new IP address, I'm going to have to recreate it. So here you need your IP information, alright? Now, this looks a bit confusing. It's not, alright? Your external port start and external ports end are going to be the same, and your internal port start and your internal port end are going to be 25565 if you have the normal computer. This is the... I don't know why they do this. This is very similar to an IP address. Everyone's default internal port is the exact same. It's 25565. So if yours is not the same, I suggest Googling it or asking whoever administrates your internet to figure out what the internal port is. The external port is going to be any random thing you want to choose. Like, let's say, if I'm trying to access, for instance, my friend's Minecraft server, play offline because the thing is down. It's not going to be able to access it, but I'll show you anyway. Multiplayer. If I wanted to go to my friend's server, I would type in his IP address that he Googled. So let's just pretend someone's trying to access my server, and I'm gonna say that the server address is 71.28.110.211, and then I'm gonna put a colon, and then I'm gonna put whatever port that my friend decided to use. I'm gonna put whatever port he decided to use. Let's say I decide I want my port number to be 53131. I cannot stress how little it matters what number you put here, just so long as it's, I believe, between 80000 and 25565, and it can't be 25565, by the way. It has to be a different number. So basically, you want these last two numbers to be 25565, and then you want this the external port to be 53131. Now, in my internet router, they specify the port start and the port end for both of these. Most of them don't do that. It'll just say external port and internal port. You'll just want to put 53131 and 25565. It doesn't really matter. Protocol, keep it on TCP. Minecraft doesn't use UDP. I don't know what UDP is. Just keep it on TCP. Your server IP address, this is going to be your IPv4 address once again. So you want to type that in, and you want to make sure that whenever someone types in your port number, that they're going to come to your IP address. Unfortunately, if you have a program set up that changes its IPv4 address on a regular basis, like mine does, by default, all computers will switch their IPv4 address on a regular basis. Try to find a way to fix that. I don't know how to do it. I wasn't able to make it work for my computer, and when I tried to make it work, my all my Mac software ended up glitching out because it tried to change to that same IP address that I had created permanent. So you want to end it with a .3. Your custom service, that's just the name. You can just name it Minecraft server. It doesn't matter. All of these, they'll have like a bunch of MMO type things. You don't need to do that. That's just something random. This, no idea what it is. Don't worry about it. That's pretty simple. If you have any questions, please ask me. I may or may not be able to answer them because I spent so long just trying to get my own thing to work. I might not be able to help you. So, you see all these other .3 addresses? You see how they're all on a different port? It's okay to have a bunch of servers on the same IP address, but not a bunch of Minecraft servers. Whoop, that's my timer. Sorry. 1 second. Alright. Now, it's okay to... You cannot have a Minecraft server. You cannot have 2 Minecraft servers on the same IP address. That's why I shut down my other one earlier, because it was... it'll create a conflict in the programming. So you want to make sure that the external port start is different from any other external ports that you have here. So yeah, that's all good. I don't believe that anything else uses 25565 except for like MMO games that you play on other people's servers and stuff. So that's all good. That's pretty much it for port forwarding. In the future, I'm going to show you like what information you need to share with your friends, how to set up a server, how to make it whitelist, a bunch of this stuff. If you guys want, I will also create how to create a server for any various mods you might want. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. I'll have a symbol up here of my channel, so if you want to see the rest of this series, click on there, and hopefully I'll have it up by the time that you see this video. Thanks, bye.